This week, Pope Francis became the first leader of the Catholic Church to publicly admit that nuns were sexually abused by priests and bishops. The problem dates back decades, but no one with any real power or influence would talk about it. The Pope has now changed all that with these comments on board his papal plane.
Io non posso dire a casa mia questo non è vero. E si deve fare qualcosa di più? Sì. Abbiamo la volontà? Sì.
The comments come just weeks before a global summit in Rome where church leaders have been called to address abuse in the church. It's the first conference of its kind. Some are even calling it the Catholic Church's Me Too moment. There are cases from Africa to India, where just last summer, a nun went to police accusing a bishop of raping her. We asked the Canadian Council of Catholic Bishops if there are any such cases of abuse here, and they told us, "We currently do not have any data or information of this occurring in Canada to the best of our knowledge." Joining us now is Sister Carol Zinn. Sister Carol runs the largest organization of Catholic sisters in the United States, and she joins me from Washington. So, Sister Carol, you've been pushing for change in the church on this issue for a long time. What did you think when you heard the Pope's comments?
Well, Wendy, first of all, thank you for having us. And I think that my first thought, and I think the thoughts of the sisters that belong to the Leadership Conference of Women Religious, along with many other people, was almost a deep sigh that finally this is being said out loud. And I say that because we women religious throughout the world have been aware that this issue has been happening for at least 20 years, when it was our sisters from Africa who really raised this reality for us at an international meeting in Rome.
How do you explain that this has happened now? You say that this has been known for so long. Why is this happening now?
The very fact that the church in the United States in particular, as you're probably well aware, has had a very, very challenging number of years now with the whole issue of the abuse, first of all, and then the abuse of power with the scandal and the cover-up. And so I think it almost got to a point where the Holy Father was just unable to meet with each country's bishops, one at a time, because it was the situation emerged in Chile, it emerged in the United States, in various places around the world. And so this summit in a couple of weeks is to really, as Pope Francis has said, to really raise the conversation around the consciousness. What is the thinking that is going on within the bishops' conferences around the world, around both the abuse as well, the sexual abuse, as well as the abuse of power?
The Pope is getting lots of great PR for raising the consciousness, for talking about sexual abuse of all kinds. But is there real change happening here, or is this just sort of opening the gates to talk about it?
Opening the gates to talk about it when it is an issue that is usually kept in secret, and the whole environment of shame and will I be believed and what will happen to me if I do say something. We know well enough in other sectors that that is a big limitation for why people even resist coming forward to share their story. So simply talking about it is really a big step in the right direction. So I would hold the hope that simply talking about it, and for Pope Francis to actually say it out loud on that plane the other day, that this is also an issue that has happened to women religious as well as minors and vulnerable adults. I think it is a way of him saying that this is not just going to be a conversation, but we have got to start with a conversation.